right.
This meet is being recorded.
You are checking out the 3 Count podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top row, crowd already know how I fly him to the flow like. Hit him with a 3 count. And your boy real chicka chicka chicka. You're on the air.
I'm on the air. Wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Don, Chaz Evans, and you are listening and checking out the 3 Count Podcast Debate Show. Let's go down the roster. Introducing first, he is my tag team partner. He's the man that runs the show because I don't do shit. I don't run shit. I just talk shit. He is the landlord of the Dog Pound. He's the producer. He's the one that makes the boat float. Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Dog, Cliff Miller! Ruff, 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 ruff.
Hi, it's your friendly neighborhood Red Dog. That's right. So, our sponsor today, Twisted Tea. Because when you need to kick some ass, you're cracking open a cold one.
That's facts. Wow, I didn't get the memo. I would have gotten one.
Oh no, we have a bit though. But we do have affiliates now. We're starting to get there.
I heard, yes. Yeah. All right, introducing next. He is nobody because it's just us. It's just us, folks. Yep, there's no Ross. It's just me and Cliff today. Quick show. We're going to talk about some wrestling. We're going to do our picks for TakeOver. That is tonight, June the 13th, in your house. And then, that's about it. So thank you for joining us. Make sure, if you have not already done so, make sure you follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Clapper, like us on Facebook, 3count_pod on everything. And make sure you go check out our website, 3countpodcast.com. Anything 3 Count Podcast related, you can find it there. We also have our own merch. Go get yourself a 3 Count Podcast t-shirt. I'm at prowrestlingtees.com/3countpod. That's the number 3. Don't type in THREE. You're not going to find this. You're going to find that 3 Count Thursday bull crap. So, yeah. So if you type in the number 3. Any other announcements? Cliff? Yes. What about now entering the ring?
Man, we have a bunch of episodes that are coming out. So if you guys have noticed, in the month of June, we've been releasing 3 episodes a week. So you guys get them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And this week, we're not going to play around because we just had SCWA last Thursday. We will be getting Gio Galvano will be coming out on Tuesday. Chad Minez of Pro Wrestling After Dark, which is definitely it's going to be cool. And then we're going to get the Danger Hog, Dennis Morgan, will be coming out as well. So you guys will get those back to back to back. So, we have a bunch of episodes coming up, and you guys will be super excited. And I promise you that, I keep saying this every time, like, all of our interviews are a lot of fun. But I promise you that you guys will definitely enjoy the one, especially with me and Gio, because we kind of nerd out about soccer for the longest time.
Wow. I don't know anything about soccer. I only watch the cup. That's the only thing I watch is the World
Missing
Cup.
out.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't know the sport of soccer.
It's the beautiful game, man. It's the beautiful game. If you're not paying attention, it sucks. But it's the beautiful game. You got to pay attention to it.
Facts. I don't have any other announcements to give. Actually, now come to think about it, I think that's about it. So let's get right down to business. Let's give it the match of the week. Cliff, we'll give your second match of the week because you never give your match of the week because that's what you call it with the power ranking. So give us a good match that you saw this week out of all the wrestling that you watched.
Yeah, so we get to
Impact last night.
Right. We had so much stuff going on, man. It's crazy. This whole week of wrestling has been ridiculous. But yeah. I'll give you this one. This came right out of Dynamite, so we'll talk about from Friday night. Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler from AEW. Like, just a great mix of styles, and I loved seeing it. So that's on the list. That's on our honorable mention. So we'll throw it out there.
Yep. Crazy thing about it is that it's definitely my that's my match of the week as well. Despite the beginning, I actually mentioned this yesterday. I was like, I didn't like the beginning of the match, but as the match went on, I enjoyed it. It was definitely the best match for me this week. I have to agree with you on that one. The Young Bucks, Brandon Cutler versus Eddie Kingston, and Death Triangle, Pac and Penta. Definitely is my match of the week.
You know what I loved about that match, though, man? It's just like every time I watched it, like as I was watching, I was getting invested to it. I had this sinking feeling like the ring was just gonna explode, or fall apart, or go into the ground. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Crazy.
Crazy. At least their show isn't ran by a 14-year-old. So it is what it is. Let's move on. Let's move on. Actually, I'm gonna switch the order a little bit this time. I think this is the perfect time to talk about this. So let's get on our first debate topic. It's been known on Twitter. I think it was Nick Khan had mentioned it. That WWE is not a wrestling promotion, it's an entertainment company, and that we need to stop thinking of WWE as a wrestling promotion. So the debate topic that me and Cliff right here are going to discuss is WWE an entertainment company or is it a wrestling promotion? You can start us off on that, buddy.
Yeah, it's a sports entertainment. Like they continually say it's a sports entertainment company. It's not a wrestling company. It's not anymore. And a person that you can really lean on to find out whether this is true or not, Nick Khan himself. Nick Khan said it on a press call that, they have so much IP that they want to really focus on all their stuff that's coming up and all the characters, and they're able to sell that to like movies, TV shows, even merchandising. So they're not thinking about wrestling. They know that what they're into is sports entertainment, and that's what it is. So it's crazy. Like that's the way I would lean on it, and that's the way I see it, at least.
Right. So when I saw that quote, instantly I was like, well, duh. It's an entertainment company that just has wrestling in it. Like that's really what it is. It's not a wrestling promotion. It's an entertainment company that has wrestling elements to it. It's not just full on wrestling. And I think we're all a little late on the trend of claiming WWE as a entertainment company. We should have known that was the case when they legally changed their name from World Wrestling Entertainment to just WWE Inc. And I think, what was that, around 2000? What was it, 20? Oh, I want to say 2013, 2014. I think it was right around when the network dropped. It was when they did that. When they did that switch, is that they wouldn't be just known as WWE. You have to look like that's why we're getting the stuff that we get on Monday Night Raw, whether it's the Alexa Bliss stuff, the Fiend, primarily the Fiend, and I guess in a large aspect, these cinematic matches, it's an entertainment company. They're there to tell stories, and they just sometimes they have wrestling in it. The base of WWE is not wrestling anymore, and I hate to bust everyone's bubble and to get everybody in their feelings, but WWE is not wrestling. No. It is not professional wrestling. It is sports entertainment. Well, it's entertainment that has sports elements.
Look into Monday Night at Raw. Like Monday Night Raw this last week, right? Like that very last angle where Shayna Baszler is in a ring with Alexa Bliss, and then she stomps on a doll and she runs, and like there's like all these flashes, the lights are turning on and off, and everybody's like running around like crazy and stuff like that. Like, yeah, very much. Like WWE really has said it, man. They're into sports entertainment. They're not wrestling, and it just, like you said, it just has wrestling aspects to it, but it is definitely it's there for sports entertainment, and that's what they are. They're entertainers at the end of the day.
Right, and then on top of the fact, Drew McIntyre? He had a sword on. He just went through the contract signing. Like, come on, guys. Yeah, like it's sports entertainment, and I think once we fully understand that that's what WWE is, I think the less animosity that we'll have with wrestling fans in general when we're comparing other companies to WWE.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's like AEW is a wrestling promotion, Impact's a wrestling promotion, NWA wrestling promotion, WWE entertainment, sports entertainment. It's entertainment, point blank. Like all of it is entertainment, but WWE will focus more on the entertainment aspect than the quote unquote wrestling.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I 100% agree.
Yeah. So let's move on to temp check. Temp check.
Before we get into temp check, I actually just got this dropped on me, and I really kind of want to announce it. So I really gonna do this. So one of the guys that we've had on our show, Mad Mike Payne, right? Just kind of passed me the results for what happened at Rampage Wrestling last night. So, that we'd pass along those results to people who want to pay attention, and you guys should. If you guys get a chance, go check out the Rampage Wrestling out of Lubbock, Texas, which is like hits close to home, because I don't know if a lot of people know, but I was a military brat and moving from place to place to place. My dad actually got out of the military at Lubbock, Texas, so very familiar with the spot. Go Red Raiders, even though we're not in the same conference anymore. Yeah, go Red Raiders. But yeah, let's get through some of these results really quick before we jump into temp check. So, as far as we're getting for Lubbock, Texas, Saturday, June 12th, 2021. Sorry, I should have passed this along to you, Chaz, but it legit just got dropped into me. So, we're talking about the Rampage Rumble 3. So, we had Connor Murphy versus Wingman Carl by pinfall. Cool. We have the Rampage Tag Team Championships. We had Nerd Corps versus the Odd Squad, and the Nerd Corp won. So, they're tag champions. We had the Rampage Rising Star Championship of MAC, the franchise, defeating Wildcard and Gabriel Alexander to retain. We had Eric Grayson versus Vel Mystico, and Eric came out on top. With Rampage Heavyweight Championship Finals, it was Justin Taylor defeating Chavi Chulo to become the 3-time Rampage Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations. And in the Rampage Rumble, it was Alton Black defeating 24 other competitors to win the Rumble and winning the rights to the Rampage. Rampage would give him a title shot whenever of his choosing. So, big ups to Rampage. We definitely, if you guys want to give your results and have us read them on here, we will. We will, because, we want to help grow everybody's promotions, and we want to help grow as well as the podcast. So, send us your results. We'll definitely talk about them on the air. Facts.
Any more results you want to give?
So that's it. I mean, I don't want to deep dive into Against All Odds last night. I mean, it was there. It was cool. There were some results.
Well, if you want the Against All Odds updates, you got to go follow us on our social media pages and get the quick dives the next morning, done by yours truly, Red Dog, Cliff Miller.
Yeah, we didn't do that show, though. You'll see it tomorrow. It'll be on Monday.
I mean, yeah, it's Sunday's the debate show, so nothing really comes out on Sundays as far as our Instagram. Anyway, temp check. So, temp check where we go talk about who we think is the hottest wrestler coming into this week. And I'm here to say it. I should have said it last week, but I wasn't on. So, Camille is the hottest wrestler going into the week right now. Coming out of NWA, the new NWA Women's Champion. Camille, that is the hottest wrestler right now going in to the week. I don't care. It's Camille. And we're gonna get Camille and Melina sooner rather than later. You can also give an argument for Mickie James coming out of NWA. But that girl Camille, she took the title off of Serena Deeb, and yeah, that's it. It's over. It's over for any woman that's in the NWA right now, because Camille's holding that title for the next 5 years.
That's a long time to hold a title.
It is a long time to hold a belt.
But you know what's crazy?
I just imagine. I always when we talk about title reigns and holding it, and then how Bruno and Buddy Rogers were holding these belts for 300, 400 days, and I'm just never. Never.
Look at Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis, he's close to 700, 800 days, 900 days.
And he's the only one that makes sense. And I can see him holding that. Like I think it's just the aesthetic that NWA gives. That's why I feel like Nick holding that belt for 700 something days makes logical and it makes sense, you know. But you can, man, doing that in today's wrestling, that's bad. Mm-mm. Yeah, you'll have Twitter ready to cancel you already after like 3 months. So like, get the belt off of him. He's burying talent.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Actually, we'll talk about more about Nick Aldis in a little bit. I think I'm gonna take it opposite for temp check, right? So my temp check is for Shayna Baszler, and not because she's rising, but because she's kind of cooling off. Normally with temp check we talk about it like as far as like wrestlers that are heating up, but I was like, yo, like this temp, we can talk about who's frosting off a little bit, and
exactly, yeah. Her temperature is pretty low.
Yeah, and I don't think it gets any worse. I mean,
yeah.
I
finally saw that segment. I finally watched it. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's bad. It popped up on Instagram today because Josh had talked to me about it. He's like, I hadn't seen it, but I heard it was bad. I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't care to know. I just know it was bad, and I'm not going to watch it. And I didn't know that was the segment until you just said that. And you said that, yeah, you know, that was the last segment. I was like, oh, that was the segment? Yikes.
Yeah, that was how they wrapped. That's how they ended Raw. And I think the problem though isn't so much that, and it's okay. So let me be honest. It's not just 1 week for Shayna Baszler, right? That's not what I'm trying to get at. It's the consistent week after week after week after week of her taking pins, losing the tag titles, and then like obviously like they're protecting Nia and not like letting her take pins, but that she, you know, they're consistently losing, and it cooled off. Like Shayna Baszler like was this female who came in from NXT after destroying all the women, and for what? What did she get now? She's like, she bit Becky Lynch in the back of the neck, like, and then she became the women's tag champs, and then after that it was just kind of like, man, that's it. Yeah.
Nope, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It's Shayna Baszler. They have severely dropped the ball with Shayna Baszler. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you come up from that. Especially if you got rid of her. I really feel like it was a missed opportunity by not bringing Jessamyn Duke and Amanda. I can never say her last name.
Marina Shafir.
Yeah, bringing them up with her and having her have her own little, trio. And so I think that was a missed opportunity for them, but. Yeah, it's.
Yes, definitely. Share podcasts, not viruses. I like it.
Yeah. Share podcasts, not viruses. Definitely. So, alrighty. Moving on to the fun part. If I had the pencil. Okay, we're going to play If I Had the Pencil. So, Mr. Miller, you ready to play If I Had the Pencil?
Yeah, so for our viewers who don't know what we're talking about, If I Had a Pencil, pretty much it's our who's going to win. Like, if we had the chance to pick who's going to win in matches, because NXT's tonight, that's what it is. That's what If I Had a Pencil is.
Yeah, they say the pencil is the most powerful thing in wrestling because it can write down winners and losers, and it also can erase. So the pencil is the most powerful tool in wrestling. And, well, if we had the pencil, this is how things would go. So remind everyone that when we do our SummerSlam picks this year, not next month, the month after, we will be giving the halftime. I call it the halfway point, and we'll be giving you who's in the lead. I have purposely made sure to keep everyone in the dark as far as their scores is concerned, so that there will be no discrepancies at the end. And so be on the lookout for that. We also had our first 100%. This past at Backlash. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, I think like 4 or 5 of us got 100%. I won't tell you who though.
I was not one of them.
No, you were not.
Yeah. Like super. I'm like, no.
You definitely were not. So here we go. Let's start off. If I had the pencil. All right, we're going to start things off with the six-man tag match, winner take all. Bronson Reed and MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. If you had the pencil, Red Dog, who you picking?
Yeah, I was listening to a couple other podcasts, man, and I really kind of started to like think to myself because originally I wanted MSK and Bronson Reed to win, and I didn't want Bronson to be like some transitional champ. But the more I got to think about it, I was like, bro, like Legado del Fantasma is a whole different beast, and I really like them. And like for some reason, MSK, like I don't know if you saw like NXT, but MSK was getting booed. Like it's like almost fans aren't clicking with them, and it's a shame because like I love the Rascals, and I thought they were great on Impact, and so to see them kind of get booed now, I'm just like, well, why? Like, what don't you guys like about them? Why aren't you connecting with them? But I know a lot of fans will start cheering Legado on, so I think this time around I'm gonna take MSK and Bronson Reed because Bronson obviously I think they want to keep the title on him, so I'm gonna go that route. But God, if Legado wins, I'm gonna pop for it.
I'm going with the same reason as you. I'm going with Bronson and MSK. Likewise, if Legado does win, I will pop. I think that's pretty dope. To have them hold, pretty much the mid card of NXT down. I think that's pretty dope, especially after having him hold the cruiserweight title. Maybe he's definitely getting the big push. If he wins tonight, he's definitely getting the big push, and you can definitely expect him maybe even possibly next year's WrestleMania weekend takeover. That takeover at WrestleMania weekend, he's in the NXT title match.
Yeah, I agree.
All righty. Then we're going to move on over to the ladder match. My favorite. Love ladder matches. Ladder match for the $1 Million Championship. Cameron Grimes versus L.A. Knight. If I had the pencil, L.A. Knight is going over.
That's cool. I agree. Kind of. Except for my pick is going to be To the Moon! Hey, let me be 100 about this when I say this, and I know I'll probably catch a lot of backlash for it, and I'm well prepared for it. If you look at NXT's entire roster, how many characters do you really see on NXT? I'll give you that. And think about it. Like, everybody in there is like, I'm this badass, and I'm here to beat your ass and take your titles or win this match. And Cameron Grimes is the only one that's like, woo, buddy, I'm Cameron Grimes. And I'm like, yep, I didn't like you at first, but you grew on me so quick.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah, he definitely has.
I'm going to go with To the Moon.
Stop doing that.
No, man. That's so good.
You do it too well. You do it extremely too well. All righty, here we go. Mercedes Martinez versus Xia Li.
I ain't gonna front, man. I want Xia Li to go over so much.
Same. I love Mercedes Martinez. I loved her even from when she was in the Mae Young Classic. I was a fan then. I was hooked. I've been a fan ever since. But Xia Li that's a bad girl. That's that. I'm going with Xia Li. Yeah, clean, brother, over clean. All right, moving on. We got the NXT Women's Championship match. We got Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon. Who do you got, Cliff?
I like the fact that it's Ember Moon, former NXT champion herself. But I really feel like she's just there to help put over Raquel. And I got to go with Raquel Gonzalez. By the way, did you see that whole thing about how people were talking about how Raquel Gonzalez she's the first
next Eddie Guerrero?
I was like, what? It's like
the first Latina, yes.
Yeah, so people were like, she's the first Latina to hold the title. And I was like, no. Like, I get where you're coming from, but you couldn't even say she's the first female Latina to hold the NXT championship. I was like, because there's Bayley. Like, Bayley was that person.
Right. No, absolutely. And I thought you were talking about when they were comparing her to Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, no. And You know what's funny though is that I love the comparison, but she doesn't have the personality. Like,
No.
I'm sorry. Like, Eddie was just, he was just, he's a different type of personality and a different kind of style. And Raquel, as much, I love Raquel Gonzalez, by the way. I love her demeanor. I love the way she acts. She has this great attitude. But, yeah, she's not, like, not yet. Not yet. I have a feeling, though, that if she wanted to, she could turn the charm on and she would win us all over with that attitude.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I'm thinking about it. Like, yeah, she definitely can. Yeah.
I saw a random fan on IG. They're like, no, they're like, Raquel Gonzalez is definitely the first Latina to win. I was like, well, there was Brie and Nikki, but they're like, and someone said Bailey, and they're like, Bailey's not Hispanic. They're like, Pamela Martinez, that's her real name, bro. Like, you can look it up. She's Hispanic. They're like, yeah, but I don't think Bailey is. I was like, it doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes sense. Like, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. Okay. Because Bailey is right. Because Bailey was champion, not Pamela Martin. Anyway, so the next match, yeah.
I want Bailey Martinez. That's my name.
When she comes out and says this, I'm going to pop, and I'm going to call you right after she says it and be like, look what you done. All righty, so moving on to the main event, actually, for TakeOver. We have a fatal 5-way match. Karrion Kross is going to defend his NXT championship against Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole, baby. If you had the pencil, who's going over?
I gotta go.
The real question is this: is Karrion Kross dropping the belt?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, definitely taking Karrion Kross on this. If he does, I 100% expect to see him on Raw or SmackDown in like a couple days, or a couple weeks. Like, I think it would happen, but I think Karrion Kross, like, I think he retains.
Think he retains? Okay, so I've meddled with this ever since they announced the Fatal 5-Way. I was like, what? I'm like, all right. And I thought about it. I was like, Karrion's going to lose it. Like, Adam, I was like, he's either going to lose it to Adam or Kyle. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, yeah, they're going to lose it to Adam or Kyle, and then probably lose it to Adam, and then reignite the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly feud at the big takeover coming up around SummerSlam. That's probably would be the first takeover where they're not at the Capitol Wrestling Center, and they'll be in a legit arena. I'm thinking, as far as what's going to get the fans back in, because I know they're going to want to break attendance records and stuff like that. So I would assume they would do Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. That's what I originally thought. But as the day went by today, and I'm sitting there, scrolling through my timeline, that ain't happening. Karrion Kross is going to retain. Karrion Kross is probably going to hold on to the belt for a good little while. It's Karrion's retaining. I don't see anybody else taking the belt. But if they do want to pull the shock factor, I think they give it to either Adam or Kyle. But my official pick, though, is Karrion Kross retaining. Before anybody comes back and be like, hey, he said this, but no. My official pick is Karrion Kross, but as a shock value, it wouldn't shock me. Well, it would shock me, but that they give the belt to either Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly, and those two finish off their blood feud for the championship at TakeOver, which will probably be around SummerSlam.
To be honest, I think Karrion wins, and I think July 16th at the first show on SmackDown, where they're gonna have a live crowd, that's where Adam Cole's gonna make his debut.
You think? See, I don't know.
Because there's no way that you answer a question.
I don't want Adam on anything but black and gold brand. I think that's my problem. Not to say that he wouldn't be successful. It's just I don't want him. I don't want him on NXT.
the problem though is that with like there's no okay. For one, let's be real. Rey Mysterio's not winning at
Oh,
Hell in a Cell.
absolutely. No,
And I
he's not.
think when you have the crowds, with all the names that have been announced that are going to show up, right, on that show with Cena, I forget who else was announced. Sasha Banks was announced for that show. There's another person. It wouldn't surprise me to have this shock of here's Adam Cole, and then you give him back his Undisputed Era music instead of having his new music, because that's not going to front. It's kind of lame. But you give him the Undisputed song that people get adjusted to, and bro, like I just think like at that point you have a match, because you know a lot of rumors are that Brock Lesnar was supposed to come back, and who was the other one that they're talking about with Cena, and I think if you just put Adam Cole there, like instantly you've got a lot of stuff happening. Like, could you imagine like, Adam Cole come back and want to take on Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship, or just instantly just stick him in the main event scene with Cena and Roman? Like,
I was about to say, what if we get Adam Cole versus Cena? Everybody's saying Cena and Roman. What if we get Adam Cole and John Cena?
I mean, and then you have Jimmy, or you could have Jimmy versus Roman at SummerSlam, and that's still a great match. Like, It's just crazy to me, man. I just think that there's so much possibilities that you could have, or here's even a better one, right? Bobby Lashley is like, hey, you know, they can't get Brock Lesnar. Let's just assume they don't, right? To show up for SummerSlam. Bro, you take Adam Cole, you put him on Raw.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you're still missing Damian Priest. Like, whatever happened to Damian Priest? Like, he hasn't been on the last few shows. Like, that, or, you know, on the 16th, all of a sudden, like, everybody's like, hey, we're looking for this, right? And everybody's like waiting for like John Cena to answer the call to Roman Reigns, and all you hear is "Bask in his glory." I'm like, everybody's pops.
That's too good to be true. that's where you're going into. It's too good to be true.
Cole has charisma, but I wouldn't wish WWE booking on anyone. I like that. You know what's crazy though is that like NXT has done some great jobs with their booking and stuff. It's hard for me to sit back and be like, yeah, I wanna see Adam Cole on a bigger stage, but I don't want him to go to that bigger stage.
Yeah. Especially not Raw.
Yeah.
Especially not Raw. All right, moving on to the greatest segment in all the 3 Count Podcast. It's time for the Red Dogs Power Ranking. Boom, boom, boom. Danger Zone.
Hey, we got the official okay to use that song for the show too.
That is true.
So, wait, that's all the matches though that have been announced for TakeOver?
Yes.
Oh wow! So I wonder what's going on with the Io Shirai Candice LeRae thing.
I don't know. It's only 5 matches.
Okay, whatever. I can take it. All right. So let's get into this week's power rankings.
Check it again, but I think those are the only matches I recall.
No, at this point I don't really care. I'm like that's nice. I'll take that.
Should be that bad of a show.
All right, so let's get into these honorable mentions really quick. We only have 3 of them because I didn't write down a full 5. So, like I mentioned at the top of the show, Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler are your first honorable mention match. We move into honorable mention number 2. We have Nikki Cross and Asuka versus Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, which, to be fair, that if there was other matches, that match wouldn't even be on an honorable mention list. Next up, this was actually my favorite honorable mention match of the week. This would have been Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai at NXT. So if you guys get the chance, please go check out that match. So let's jump into number 10. I was super excited about this because there's a lot of good teams that were mentioned in here, and 2 individuals who probably shouldn't have even been there. That being Lucha House Party and Miz Morrison. Morrison. But this was the Viking Raiders winning the Tag Team Royale on Raw. I thought that was great. What's up, Prince? Next up, number 9, we have Kevin Owens and Big E versus Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn on SmackDown. It was a fun match. I really dug it. Oh, German lady, she says, hey, new sub here. Hi, thank you for joining us. Shout outs. We're going to move into number 8. We have W. Morrissey versus Willie Mack on Impact. I love that match. I thought it was better than, to be honest, Morrissey and Rich Swann on All Against All Odds. So that one made the list. We're moving to number 7. We have Miro versus Evil Uno on AEW because that legitimately was a fire match. I loved it, and I love the fact that, -1 was on there because we haven't seen him in a while. So to see that all play out. Let's get into number 6. This would be Kenny Omega versus Moose at Against All Odds. I thought this was the best match. Well, actually, I think this was the second best match all of the show. So, but this one made the list, and it would have been. So let me preference this, right? And I'm gonna put this out there. This was the best match, but it was the second best match on the show. But it's the only match that's gonna make this list, and here's why. Because of what happened with the X Division with a no contest, I was just like, I'm just not even gonna have this match. Since there's not a winner, I don't even want to put this on my list. So, but that X Division match, if you guys are watching it, bro, tearing down the barn, and I was like, this is the best. So let's get to number 5. This was like one of my favorite matches from NXT, and we're gonna talk about this: Swerve Scott versus Killian Dane. Because let's be real, man, Hit Row, they got it. 100%, they got it. I'm all about this. So number 4, Humberto Carrillo versus Ricochet. So this one ended in double count out. Kind of a weird no contest, but I get what happened. So number 3, this is Hangman Page and 10 versus Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs at AEW. So definitely great match. Loved it a lot. We're gonna move into number 2, Camille versus Serena Deeb at NWA. Let's be real. War of Shadows Fall was definitely on point. And our number 1 match, so if that's number 2, number 1, obviously, Nick Aldis versus Trevor Murdoch at NWA, Where Our Shadows Fall. I definitely love that. So there you go. There's our top 10 for this week. Can't hear you. You're muted out.
Stupid phone. Computer, whatever it is. I fucked with the power rankings this week. Yeah. All these were solid matches. It was a solid week of wrestling. Hopefully we see Sami Callihan on AEW because since he got fired from Impact, right?
From Impact. He's been blacklisted from all the organizations. That's what they said.
Except AEW. But that's the power rankings. Make sure everyone. That's the show. Hope you had fun with us for an hour. Pretty much, yeah. Hope you had fun. Hope we entertained you. Hope you kept you up to date with what's going on in the wrestling world. So if you enjoyed today's show, definitely subscribe to us on YouTube and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting site, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, podcast.com, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on there. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star frog splash review. Boom. And like us on Facebook. Follow us on all of our social medias, 3count_pod, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clapper, TikTok. I don't know what else we have, but yeah. And make sure you buy a shirt. Pro Wrestling Tees _ 3count pod, and that's the number 3. So yeah, make sure you do that.
Yeah, so his stuff's gonna die, and that's exactly what